Hey guys, I'm just here to share some vulnerability. Um, I just had a realization while I was sitting here and looking at these courageous and brave women on Instagram who are suffering with chronic illness, and it occurred to me that the reason why I have such difficulty sharing my honest, open, and raw um, opinions and feelings and um, insight around my health is honestly because it's really a lot for me to navigate. I have a super active brain, and everything that I see that can be contradictory or invokes skepticism within me, I hold back until I know more. And that's just the type of person that I am. And I think that when it comes to suffering from chronic illness, this can really hinder my ability to be raw and open about my present moment opinions, because I know that there's always tomorrow where I might feel differently or completely disregard what I felt the day before based on what I'm seeing from other people. And so it's difficult for me. So I'm really navigating that, and that's probably, obviously, it's not the most difficult thing about suffering from chronic illness. Suffering from chronic illness itself is fucking difficult. It's really fucking difficult. And as a holistic health advisor and having navigated wellness and mindfulness for years, um, it's been really hard for me to not go into a place where if I just have a better mindset, then I'll feel better. And obviously, if you have hope and you are able to conquer through the pain, then you're going to in turn feel more hopeful and positive and then able to deal with said pain. But man, oh man, if it isn't also the truth that if you literally disregard your suffering and disregard your pain because of positivity and hopefulness, and feel utterly and completely alone because of such mindset, and that no one can give you the true deep down care and compassion and even just sitting with you in your pain that you really truly need, then it also creates more suffering and more chronic illness and more stress and more invalidation from yourself as well. And so there's this catch 22, this caveat that I can't let go of. Like, I'm sitting here being diagnosed with another illness, and I'm just like, if I just try and keep my hope, if I just keep going, if I just hang on, then it's gonna be better for me than if I just give up, if I just sit in that suffering. But man, I've had some beautiful moments where I sat in suffering and I came out maybe a few days, sometimes a month, sometimes a few months later, and I was like, fuck, I needed to purge that. I needed to let that out. I needed to feel that. I needed to live that in order to know all the way down in the depth that I don't want to be there anymore. And I think that that's one of those caveats from personal experience, that if you if you hang on to hope at the expense of invalidating your experience or allowing others to invalidate your experience, you will feel more alone, more stressed, more ill than if you admit to yourself that this fucking sucks and that it's dark and it's deep and it's really, really, really fucking shitty. And the only way that you're gonna get through it is if you Allow yourself to acknowledge that it is. Really sitting in that pain. And allowing yourself to do that until you are ready. Until you are ready to pull yourself back up and continue about your day or year or week or month or life, knowing that you can still live. You can still experience happiness, and you can still be grateful, and you can still have beautiful moments and joy. But they will be robbed if you replace it with fake joy. They will be robbed if you replace it with fake gratitude or fake kindness. The kind that you say, well, if everyone else is okay with it, then I'm going to be okay with it. It's not your personal experience. And some people just don't like to be uncomfortable about your suffering. And that's fucking selfish. But it's also their inability to understand where it comes from. Some people would rather automatically invalidate you or discredit your suffering because they are truly afraid and live in fear and don't want that fear to be put right in front of their face. But they're doing what they know how to do, and hopefully they'll learn, and hopefully they'll understand. And until then, the best thing to do is to try not to take it personally, even though it is personal. And if it's really affecting you, the way someone is, even though they may not even understand why they're doing it, then you have to give space. You have to give space from those people, because you are worthy of having a personal experience just as much as you are responsible for having compassion for others. You are responsible and being held accountable for your ability to be compassionate towards other people and their ignorance just as much. But if you can't continue, if you can't be happy, then how the fuck are you gonna hold yourself in true, pure, authentic compassion with those people? It's a balance. It's a delicate balance. It's not one or the other. It's not, I must love myself before everything else. Because that idea of love, that idea of loving, is based on a concept. But love itself is meant to be unconditional. It's meant to be limitless because it cannot be held. It's not tangible. You can't hold on to it. It ebbs and flows like waves. The true understanding is how to live in those ebb and flows and acknowledge them for when they arise and be able to let them flow back out. If you feel love for yourself, you are going to end up wanting to have other people feel that love, but making sure that it comes from a place of authenticity and not people pleasing is one of the hardest things, because our society today says that we should be kind to ourselves first. And other people would say that we must be compassionate and sacrificing in order to feel love for ourselves. And those are both dualistic principles. The reality is, it's not that simple. Life isn't that simple. Chronic illness isn't that simple. People are not that simple. No one person can be lumped into one category as an end-all be-all. And so, of course, you must use your own discernment, just as I'm learning to do this with my chronic illness. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. All I can say is, from someone who suffers, obviously we all suffer in our own ways, but from someone who suffers to you, please, God, don't take your joyful moments for granted. Please don't. Please don't. Because they are the fabric of which the suffering can exist within. The gratitude and respect for life and the moments that really bring you joy can last and withstand the time of the moments where you feel the deepest pain that you've ever felt in your life. Thank you for listening to my soapbox, and take care of yourself, okay?